Hi, I'm Siggy and I'm from Los Angeles. And my Jewish question is, if I have a student who already is a self proclaimed atheist, how do I make them explore other options and feeling open minded without making them feel like I'm forcing a belief system about God onto them?
Okay. I must tell you, when I meet someone who says he's an atheist, I get all excited. I say, "Oh, please, thank you very much. I never met an atheist. Please, let's talk." I don't believe that there's real atheists out there, I must tell you. Everybody deep down knows that there has to be a creator. There must be a creator. To say that this wonderful and or terrible world in which we live is all an accident, it just boggles the rational mind. So deep down, I think people realize that. But for various reasons, why they want, whatever their reasons may be, and everybody has different reasons, they've chosen to believe in whatever system they believe. And here I think we have to be very careful. If we do not show respect for their beliefs, then we turn them off and we cannot communicate with them, we cannot influence them. So we do have to respect a person's right to have his beliefs. But we have to know that generally speaking, beliefs that veer from the traditional belief in God, in creation, and in a Torah and in a Bible that was given to us as a divine directive to lead the good life, generally there are reasons behind that. One of the most universal reasons is that people think it's too restrictive, it's too overwhelming, it's too limiting, it's all about what you can't do. It makes the enjoyment of life something that's beyond the pale of human existence. And this is often the reason why I have to say, hey, it can't be. I'd much rather believe there is no God than to believe there is a God and to limit the enjoyment of my day-to-day existence. And that's very often what's involved. Now, some people will deny it. Some people will be offended by saying this. But deep down, that's very often what it is. And therefore, the first thing that have to be shown is that a life of Judaism is a life of meaning, is a life of purpose, is a life of fulfillment, is a life of happiness. That these, what they have assumed, for example, let's take the Sabbath. They could say, oh, restrictions, 24 hours a day, I can't do this, I can't do that, I can't do the other thing. If they would see the positive aspects, if they'd see what it means not to be bogged down by my daily material existence, not to have a worry or a thought about my business and all of its problems, to be able to sit and enjoy the company of my family without thinking about my phone and my computer and my emails and my texts and my anything. What it means to have the time, what it means to get together, what it means to rejuvenate myself once a week. There was a movement recently that people should, one day a week, they should just get rid of their phones. We do that and much more. And it gives a certain sense of tranquility, of fulfillment, a sense of completedness that nothing's lacking in my life. Anything that I have to do has to be done before the Shabbos begins. When that Shabbos comes, my world is complete. It's such a beautiful thing. It's so beneficial. It's not restrictive. It's exhilarating. It's uplifting. Let me share with you just about this because this question has so many pieces to it. There was a poem written by, I believe, Heinrich Heine. He was an interesting fellow there, a German poet, whatever it was. I think he was born, whatever the story was about him. Anyway, he writes about the Sabbath. And he writes the following story. There was a Polish landlord who was a very nice guy, used to visit his tenants. And one Friday night, he comes upon this Jewish family, and they're sitting around the table, and they're singing, and they're talking together, and the atmosphere seems so uplifting and so happy and so tranquil, so beautiful. But then he contrasted it with the leaks that were leaking in from the ceiling, and the patched tablecloth, and the sparse food, and the tattered clothing. They were living in abject poverty. And he was shocked by the contrast between their material situation and their happiness and elatedness and spiritual tranquility and uplift that he experienced. And he walks over to the head of the family and he says, "Sir, One wish, anything in the world that you want will be yours. This poor Jew had the opportunity to get a new apartment, to get a new job, to ask for a fortune of money, could have asked for a couple other wishes too, anything. He says, could you be so kind? The candle on the table is bent and it's dripping and it's going to go out and we're not going to be able, this was years ago before electricity, we're not going to be able to enjoy the Sabbath meal. Please be so kind as to straighten it up. Now, I don't know what the author meant, but he couldn't, this man, this head of the household, couldn't imagine what he's lacking on this day. He just needed someone who'd do something that he wasn't permitted to do on Shabbos. That's the power that Shabbos has. The tranquility, the sense of completedness, the sense of just family and enjoyment is unparalleled. So rather than looking at the Torah as prohibiting and forbidding and negative, if one can appreciate the positive, then that's the first step in communicating with someone who has denied everything. And from that point on, I believe you have a beginning to continue a conversation.